Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we share with you the closing action of the stock markets today. Also help you understand how the day really panned out in trade in terms of the sectors, the benchmark indices and several of the stocks and the companies that have been reporting their earnings as well. We'll also get joined by an expert who will help us understand what is the right way that we should approach the markets right now. But let's quickly take a minute to look at how the markets are trading at this point in time as we begin the closing half an hour. So 18,109, the markets have been pretty range bound from the last two and a half hours in trade and have been hovering near 0.3-0.4% of an uptick that we've been able to see on the benchmark indices today. So you're able to see 80 points of a jump on the Nifty 50 right now. In terms of the broader markets, let's see if there's a change there. From the early morning trades, we did see the mid caps rising by about 0.3-0.4%. It's a similar 0.5% uptick that you can see, but the small caps are slightly flattish with a negative bias in trade today. India VIX levels 1.35% down and they're comfortable at about 13.6. In terms of the market breadth, 35 advances to 15 declines as far as the Nifty 50 stocks are concerned. In terms of the various sectors of the Nifty 50 index, it's the same picture that we actually saw in the half-time report. So, metals and realty stocks clearly sulking in an otherwise brighter Monday that we've been seeing for the markets today. It's the IT stocks that have taken the lead right from the front, 1.7%, a very, very sharp up move that you can see over there. FMCG stocks also doing pretty well. Pharma stocks inching higher too. So it's all the defensives that are actually taking the markets, leading the markets from the front today. The Nifty Bank is also up in trade, 0.7% of an uptick in all three constituents, financial services, PSU, private banks, all of them up in trade as well. Apart from this, you also have the, auto space that's up by 0.7% odd too. So barring the metals and the realty pack, rest all of it looks pretty good as far as the markets are concerned. In terms of the top gainers on the Nifty index, you do have Power Grid, Sun Pharma, Eicher Motors, Divis Laboratories and Hindustan Unilever as the major gainers on the markets today. About the Nifty 50 top 5 gainers, 1.5 to 2% uptick that you can spot there. On the downside, you have UltraTech Cement, Adani Ports, you also have JSW Steel and Grasim and NTPC as the big laggards in trade right here. So some of the power, metal names, constructions, cement names, these are not doing well in trade today. But let's welcome our guest for the day. We do have with us Vaishali Parekh, who joins right in. She's the expert at technicals from Prabhudas Lilladher. Vaishali, good afternoon and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Your take, we are at the beginning of the week. The starting looks good, but are we going to see a similar trend follow through the rest of the week? And what would be the right approach that investors should have?
Hi, Sakshi. Good afternoon and thanks for having me. Well, it's a good start actually Monday and we've seen a gap up opening and we are sustaining pretty much there. So on a near-term basis, I would say market continues to be in a narrow range. 18,000 continues to be the support and 18,250 is the resistance. And of course, with the stock specific movement. So for now, that would be the approach: buy at support levels, book at resistance level. And we wait for a clarity till we see a precise, definite breakout or a breakdown that would call the next trend of the market.
Okay, most of these sectors that have been sulking all along, say 2022, slight comeback is what you can spot, especially when we talk about the IT names. Amid the earnings, positivity that we've been seeing, IT stocks are really taking the lead today. Are things really turning for the better? What do you really spot on the charts?
Well, this was my view since quite a while because right from the time IT index was resting at 28,000 levels, that was a good consolidation area and I was definitely recommending to accumulate the IT stocks, of course, to start with the front line. And from there on, we've seen a pickup and I think this pickup should continue. Of course, since, as I mentioned, it's a sideways market, we are not seeing a runaway rally, but these were the good zones for accumulation. And well, once we see a good proper momentum setting in, we'll get good upside potentials as well.
Okay, what about the pharma names? The pharma sector has not really shown any kind of a lever on which it can start to perform better. But any thoughts here? Are any of the stocks from the pharma space really looking like they are on the verge of a breakout and perhaps could give better returns to investors at this point?
So, well, I would definitely start with Sun Pharma, and we've seen that after making a low of 950, and it's taken a good uptrend, and it shows a lot of strength. There is a good volume pickup, so I would wait for Sun Pharma to move past 1060 to look for targets of 1100. So, Sun Pharma definitely is the top of the line in pharma.
Okay, understood that. What about the draggers today? You know, the metals pack and the realty. How should one approach these sectors?
Metal is taking a breather. We have seen good performance coming in metal sector. So right now, I think well, it's time for other sectors to participate, but no damage to the trend. So let's wait for a new round of momentum to set in metal sector, and we'll take it from there on. Well, in the reality, there's not much to say, but well, let's see, because it is at a support level. Individual stocks also like DLF, Godrej Properties, they are at support level. So we'll wait for some clarity.
Okay, let me also talk to you about some of the big names that are in focus on the back of the earnings. Say, for example, Reliance Industries that came out with the earnings on Friday evening. ICICI Bank surprised the street. It was a beat from many accounts as far as the numbers are concerned. UltraTech Cement, even though the volumes have been good, but there's been a slight miss, and therefore the stock is perhaps dragging. You do have a Yes Bank that slipped about 10-12% odd in the intraday levels today. Anything from here that you really feel that after the earnings and the technicals also supporting these names amid the earnings?
To start with, well, because Reliance, it could be a long-term pick because chartically there is no clarity. Just all I can say is 2400 is the near-term support, and on a broad base, 2350 is the support. But it's just been hovering around in spite of good results and all. So I would say that, well, it could be a good positional trade. But well, level-wise, I would definitely focus on UltraTech Cement because overall, the stock has shown a good uptrend, and right now we see is just regular profit booking. So I would look at 6600 levels for a new round of support. So that should hold on as a support level, and that would be an ideal level to get into the stock. Because if long-term story of infra and growth, that's what we are foreseeing, cement cannot be ruled out. So cement, I would look at Ultratech at 6600 levels for definitely for a buy.
Okay. Okay, let me also talk about a few more banking names that have come out with the earnings today. Apart from Yes Bank and ICICI Bank, there's Canara Bank Q3 earnings that have seen profit surging 92%. So very strong move on the upside. Bandhan Bank, on the other hand, the stock has shot up 5% after the Q3 earnings. Anything from these names that attracts, that also looks promising to you on the charts?
Definitely. So I have been tracking both these stocks. So Canara Bank long-term trend intact. Overall, the PSU banks are doing well. So I think they should continue to do well. So for a near-term trading target, I would say 315 should be acting as a good support level to look for a target of 340, 345. And Bandhan Bank, yes, post results, it has given a breakout right from 240 levels. 240 to 248 is the trading target. Now, it needs to sustain about 249 technically to look at a next target of 260. So for me, both these are a buy.
I'll add one more name to this banking list that we've been discussing. So many banks coming out with their earnings. IDBI Bank, state-owned bank that has reported a record third quarter profit and boosted by lower bad loan provisions and improved asset quality. The shares were trading about 2% up in trade after the earnings. This IDBI Bank had some of the worst asset quality among the lenders during the India's bad loan crisis, but there has been some strong recovery that we have seen from those levels. The gross bad loans as a measure of the total loans and a measure of the asset quality has improved to 13.8% from 16.51% earlier. Your thoughts on this bank as well?
So, well, to start with, I'm having a look at the weekly chart and it is showing signs of improvement. The resistance and the confirmation of further strength comes only above 64 levels. So, for now, I would say one can buy with a support of 51 level and wait for a target of 64. From there, we can have a relook for higher targets.
Okay, understood that as well. If I have to understand from you, technically speaking, how would you really advise investors to really approach on an index level between, say, the Nifty and the Nifty Bank right now? What would you really suggest to investors who want to play the index?
I would say, well, why not both? Because, see, Nifty needs Bank Nifty's participation for an up move as well. Because which
Hmm.
other sector? IT alone cannot take Nifty higher. And banking individually also, if you talk about HDFC Bank or Kotak Bank or IndusInd Bank, we still see that there is some more steam left for an upward move. So I would say, well, go for both. Nifty, well, for short-term traders, stop loss below 18,000 for a target of 18,250 and then higher on once we reach those levels. And for Bank Nifty also, I would say for near term, 42,300 should be the support and 43,50 would be the target resistance for now.
Okay, we talked about metals and you were saying that you will wait out for the second momentum, but there are some stocks that are actually looking at some momentum today. Say, talk about Lloyd's Metals. That stock has hit a new high, and this is after the robust Q3 earnings. The stock is already up 67% in 2 months perspective too. In fact, the new high was somewhere around 289.90 in today's trading session. After these robust earnings that we have seen, the company has recorded its highest ever quarterly revenue of over 1029 crore rupees. When we had seen the last year, same quarter, the kind of revenues were posted only were 171. So there's a very robust move on the upside. Your thoughts? Have you tracked this stock, and is this looking promising despite the kind of move that we've already seen on the stock?
So while I'm talking to you, I'm just having a look and wow, it has been a great run, right? From 13 rupees to now at 289. So people holding this stock should book partial profit for now because it's definitely in an overbought zone and wait for a decline or keep holding. Maybe the stock can go to 300, 310 as further upside target, but keep a trailing stop loss because it would be definitely a cautious view because we are in the overbought zone.
Sure. Understood that. So, Vaishali, just last question to you. Your own stock recommendations for the day that you would like to share with all our viewers today?
Well, I would look at mid-cap IT stocks. So my pick, it would be, of course, a positional buy, but I would look at now LTI Mindtree post the result. It has shown signs of bottoming out and the risk-reward ratio is good. So I would ask to buy that. And along with that, even Birlasoft looks promising. So I would look at Birlasoft and LTI Mindtree.
Okay, Birlasoft. Okay, right. Thank you so much, Vaishali, for being with us on this show and discussing with us all those different pockets about the stock markets and what is the right way to approach these pockets, especially amid all this earnings momentum that we are getting. Many thanks for joining in. Let's quickly look at how the markets are trading at this point in time before winding down the show. So the markets are inching up higher now towards about the higher point of the day, 18,126, about 0.5% up, almost 100-point jump for the Nifty right now. Let's look where the momentum is really coming in from as far as the markets are concerned. So the small caps have also inched up into the green. And apart from this, you do have gains coming in on the IT pack. That's the one that is definitely leading from the front. Pharma inching up higher. The autos moving up higher too, and the FMCG stocks also looking bright at this point in time. So as we inch closer, 15 minutes to go for the markets to shut shop, but definitely a good start to this week. 34 advances to 16 declines. A broad-based buying is what you've been witnessing, despite the earnings momentum and where you're seeing some market street punishing some of those companies that have not performed very well in Q3. The overall sentiment looks quite good, of course, supported by the global sentiments too. We'll wrap it up at that, but do stay tuned on to Business Today TV to catch all the updates from the world of stock markets and business news. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and stick with us via our other social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Many thanks for joining in now.
Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I am Siddharth Zarabi from the India Today, Business Today studio here at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And joining me, a very special guest, Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar, a member of the Rajya Sabha and currently the MOS for Skill Development, Entrepreneurship, Electronics and Information Technology. Welcome to the show, Rajiv. Thank you very much for making time. Thank you. I must begin by telling our viewers the context of this conversation. Right here at this studio, the Chief Technology Officer of one of the globe's largest telecom companies,